Hey, it's Mr. Ara, and we're going to solve some radical or root equations here. These are some practice problems. So the first one we have is the square root of 100 minus x, and then outside of the root is minus x equals 10. So if you'll remember everything I've told you, the first thing to do is to get that root by itself. So we're going to add that x to both sides. So we will still have 100 minus x on the left. But on the right, we will have x plus 10. And the reason we get it by itself is so that we can get rid of the root by raising it to a power. In this case, since it's a square root, we're going to square the left side. But if we do it to the left, we have to do it to the right, so we will square that side as well. So when we square a square root, it knocks itself out. So we'll have 100 minus x on the left. But on the right, we're squaring x plus 10. So that's x plus 10 times x plus 10, which is a FOIL. So remember, x plus 10 times x plus 10 will give you 4 terms. And you can combine the middle 2 terms usually. In this case, the right-hand side will give me x squared plus 20x plus 100. And now it looks very much like a quadratic equation, so we're going to pull everything to one side and see if we can factor or use the quadratic formula. So let's see here. If we pull everything to the right, I'll have x squared plus 21 because I'm moving that x over, and the 100 goes away. So that's a little bit easier. I know I can factor this. I'm trying to factor x squared plus 21x. I can pull an x out. So I have x times x plus 21. So I get 2 little equations I can solve. X equals 0, which is a potential solution. And then x plus 21 equals 0. And if I solve that, x equals negative 21, which is another potential solution. So to remind you of the steps I gave you, isolate the root, which we did up top by moving the x. Raise each side to a power to get rid of the root. That was my second step. Third was whatever I get from there, solve it, which is where, I get the 0 and the negative 21. But then I said we better check these things and make sure they work out. So let's check. We're going to check x equals 0. So if I take my function, my equation to begin with, 100 minus 0 equals 10. Square root of 100 is 10 equals 10. It checks. So 0 is good. Let's check the other one. Remember, they could both work. Maybe neither one of them works. Maybe one of them works and the other doesn't. So we need to check because we can pick up extra answers, we said. So square root of 100 minus negative 21 minus 21 equals 10. So subtract negative 21. That means we add 21. So square root of 121 minus 21 equals 10. If that's a nice square root, which I don't remember, you would think I'd know. I was assuming it would be 11, but let's see. 10. So we'll have 11 minus 21 equals 10. Well, it equals negative 10, so that's not true, right? So we'll put up here this does not work. The negative 21 did not balance, so we will toss it out. Okay. So when we square both sides, we can pick up extra answers, so we better check to make sure the answers we have work. And check them in the original equation. So the second practice problem is the square root of 4x plus 41, then outside the root plus 4, equals x plus 3. So once again, the first thing we want to do is get that root by itself. So we'll leave the 4x plus 41 where it is. We'll move the 4 over and have x minus 1 over on the right-hand side. It's a square root, so we'll square both sides. And in doing so, we'll get rid of the root on the left. I said get rid of it, so let's get rid of it. So we'll have 4x plus 41 on the left. Again, we'll have a FOIL on the right, so x squared minus 2x plus 1. So again, we're in the quadratic area. So we'll pull everything to the right hand side because I like positive x squareds. So I'll move the 4x and the 41 over, so I'll have x squared minus 6x minus 40. Does that factor? Trying to think. 4 and 10, yes. So go through your factoring process. I think this is x minus 10, x plus 4. Yes, but if it doesn't factor, you have quadratic formula, and you could get some ugly answers. You could get some roots. You could get some imaginaries, which the key is to try and check them. We hope you don't get anything too crazy. But I get x equals 10 and x equals negative 4 for solutions. But right now they're just potential solutions, so let's check them just at least to make sure they balance. So we're going to plug in 10 to see what happens. So we'll have the square root of 4 times 10 plus 41 plus 4 equals 10 plus 3. So let's see. That's the square root of 81, which is 9 plus 4, which got a little messy there. Trying to clean it up, but it's not getting any better. So that is 13 equals 13. It checks. So I'll put a little check there. That's what I do. The next one, let's check the negative 4. Both of these could work. Let's see here. So we've got 4 times negative 4 plus 41 plus 4 equals negative 4 plus 3. I'm pretty sure this is not going to work, but let's go through the math. So negative 16 plus 41 is 25, so 25 squared root of 25 is 5, so 5 plus 4, we got 9 on the left and negative 1 on the right. That's not good. Does not work. So we'll throw the negative 4 out. So we got 2 answers in solving, but only one of them works, so that's the only one we keep, the 10. Alright, the last practice problem here. The square root of 6x squared minus 22x plus 16. That's all under the root, and then plus 4, and that equals 4x. So once again, we're going to isolate the root. So we'll move the 4 over, but the 6x squared plus 22x plus 16 will be under the root on the left. And on the right we'll have 4x minus 4. And as I said, it's a square root, so we'll square both sides. That's nice because it gets rid of the root on the left. 6x squared minus 22x plus 16 is no longer under a root. On the right hand side, I have to do a FOIL, so 16x squared is minus 16 minus 32x plus 16. Looks like a lot of fun. But let's move everything to one side. So I'll subtract 6x squared, so that'll be 10x squared on the right. Add 22, so it looks like minus 10x on the right. And it looks like the 16 goes away. So in this case, we'll pull out a 10x, because we've got 10x squared minus 10x. So that'll leave me x minus 1. So I'm going to get 2 answers. 0 and 1. So now we need to check them. So let's check. So we'll shorthand this. That would be 0 minus 0 plus 16 under the root plus 4 equals 4 times 0. So basically on the left I get 8 equals 0. That's not right. Does not work. So let's throw out the 0. We're kind of hoping for that one. Let's see here. We'll check the 1 now. So when I do that, I will have square root of 6 minus 22 plus 16. And then plus 4 equals 4. So let's see here. That gives me under the square root 0. So I just get 4 equals 4. That's true. It works. So I get one answer, which is x equals 1. Okay. Good job.